Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today I'd like to read on something that I feel like I've been getting reminders about, and maybe it helps us put things in perspective, even during these very difficult times when we hear so many sad things on the news. Believe it or not, I hear from my guides, I hear from Source that they don't see this as everything is the worst time in history, and with global warming and all of that, and we are heading toward destruction. They don't see it that way. They don't, not at all. In fact, the perspective I get a lot of times is pride in us, pride in humanity, that we have been gradually evolving. I'm not lying. That's what I keep hearing. I'm reading on all of these horrible things that are happening and concerns about the future and everything like that. I still hear, please understand that humanity is becoming more compassionate. Humanity is becoming more advanced. So, and that's been a steady, a fairly steady progression for this I want to say this civilization, modern civilization, because I do believe there have been many civilizations over the history of the earth that we have no idea how far back it goes, but it goes far back. So it goes back pretty far. So let us see. I do want to ask some questions of Source about that. What do you mean? How do you see our evolution as a species? We have the Emperor. So what I'm hearing is, for some reason, our species has always been enamored of the idea of a leader, having a leader. We didn't have to go that way. Levels, patriarchies, sometimes matriarchies, but levels of society. Specialization, which has helped us progress, but we didn't have to go that way, is what I'm hearing. How interesting. What I'm hearing is there have been societies before us that didn't go that way, that didn't go too far away from the collective unconscious, the collective conscious, I mean. They didn't individuate so much. They remained tied to the collective knowing, the oneness more. Wow, I didn't expect to hear that. So, telepathy, which is, perhaps the most finely tuned intuition, right? Telepathy is a skill that we could have kept. But our species evolved in a different way. And it's not that it's wrong. It just allowed greater technological advances in the world of things. Very interesting. But then necessitated societal structures with emperors, rulers, levels of authority, which has brought conflict, which has brought more conflict. Starting with family against family, then, clan against clan, tribe against tribe, country against country. Right, because this competitiveness then came in with this individuation. So we took an interesting path, is what I'm hearing, and fraught with conflict then. Very interesting. But efficiency, productivity, technological advances, which brought with it its own problems. You know, we're not living lightly upon the earth. Very interesting. Wow. So that's what I'm getting with that Emperor. So what I'm hearing is this has just been the evolution of your species. It's been the path that's been taken, and it comes with certain advantages and disadvantages. There's a real non-judgmental kind of feel to what I'm seeing. I just see like towers built around the earth, towers here, towers there, towers the other place, and then comes a time of leveling and equalizing, undoing and equalizing and unifying. That's what's next for our species. Which will bring more peace. And actually, what I'm hearing is that's what's been happening. That's what's been happening over the last few centuries. A move back to more egalitarian, collective awareness with all the information around the globe, the information exchange. It makes us, that is sort of a precursor, it comes before more intuitive oneness that we're doing without the aid of technology. Wow, very interesting. So the challenge is the Seven of Cups. The challenge is, the narratives. Because our brain was developed to individuate, to problem solve on an individual level, be efficient, produce a lot for one person, each person producing a lot. Because we developed in that way, it's easier for us to go off on some narrative, believe some narrative, spin some narrative that doesn't have much to do with reality. Just doesn't have much to do with reality. Is separate from our emotion, is separate from our insight, is separate from our intuition, is even separate sometimes from what we can get with our five senses. What we see, hear, taste, touch, feel. Yeah. We can, the only problem with this, the way that our species has developed, is that we've sacrificed some of the intuitive, frankly, telepathic kinds of abilities, the knowing. We've sacrificed a lot of that in favor of productivity, in favor of building of things. Now we have to go back to it. Now it's time to come back to more oneness. But the narratives can really mess with that. The narratives that people start to believe. Because our brain likes to think and create. And it likes to build towers. And it likes to build dynasties. And it likes to build safe towers for us to live in, everybody else to be out of. So this is a problem. This is the problem. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So they see us as evolving over so many eons. And this is just another stage in our evolution. Very interesting. So it's easy for us, and what I hear is it's easy for each generation in their time to start thinking that the troubles of their time are insurmountable, are the worst ever. Society has become the most depraved it ever has been. But what I'm hearing is that is not true, because our wars are fewer, further between, and generally not as heartless. They seem that way to us because we've grown in compassion. And we can't, just the atrocities, when we hear about atrocities, it upsets us. That's our compassionate heart, though. It upsets us. It outrages us. It's horrible. But worse atrocities used to happen more frequently. Wow. That's true, though. I mean, that is objectively true. But hard for us to see this. We have been... Sorry, storage was full. But we continue to evolve to be more compassionate, believe it or not. Just the fact that the atrocities dismay us so much shows that. All right, we have more security. We have greater investments in our close relationships usually because there is more security. So what I'm hearing is our species wasn't wrong for focusing on physical domination of our physical lives, because certainly so the advances have afforded us sometimes more security in some cases to allow for us to move back toward more interconnectedness. Very interesting. All right. Well, what else have you to say about this, Source? I'm very interested. Underneath it all, the sun, joy. What I'm hearing is that we will all understand when we pass from this dimension. You know, at some point anyway, we will understand that there is nothing but joy and love. There really is nothing but that. Anything else is a misunderstanding. There is no destruction. There is no death. There is no experience that humanity has that is without value. We are here learning. And some souls have come here planning not to stay that long. And that's the facts. So also, I feel like Source is saying, please put this in perspective. You all are timeless beings. You all are learning. You all are part of the divine. You all are one in that way. And you will all eventually return to the divine. So please know that. Okay. Well, that is good to know. What else behind it? We have the Six of Coins, generosity, equality, again with the egalitarian. So the more compassion that we have for those who are disadvantaged and vulnerable, the more we evolve. That's where they're taking us. That's where we're taking us. To the point where every human being is considered equally valuable, as every human being should be, because they are. But we've just begun, right? There needs to be more of this. More giving, more equality. Equality is really where we are to be creating right now. That's what I'm getting. That is a huge focus right now. Since we are so physically oriented and oriented to physical security and physical changing our physical surroundings and all of that. Since that is our orientation, the more we give, the more we equalize, the more we share the abundance of that, the further we are progressing. So that seems to be the next step for us. Yes, we will be understanding each other better, and we will be part of the oneness more and more, and our intuition will grow, our awareness will grow, the collective conscious will grow. But there is a step in between, is what I'm hearing. So above it all, new beginning. We are indeed coming into a brand new era. We're coming into a new place. So those who feel that and have sensed that are right. We are coming into a new place, a new awakening, where the things that have been important for eons to human beings, success, financially, with our belongings, success with health, success with all of the things we think make us more secure. That will not be considered success. That will be inadequate to be considered success in the coming 100 years. That will be inadequate because we will get to a place where, with the equality, as we equalize, where everybody has that, where everybody has protections that help them with their health, that help them with having enough, their financial security, their physical security. We will be coming into a time when that is just baseline. And I don't feel like it's in 2 decades. I don't feel like it's in 3 decades or 4. But we'll be moving toward that. That is the step in between. And then when that is no longer what we're striving for so much, then different definitions of success can proliferate. So we are definitely coming into a new time. And egalitarian, I keep hearing the word egalitarian. In the immediate future, the Earth Mother. What about the Earth Mother? We're concerned about Mother Earth. Ooh, yeah, it's been embattled. We have to deal with that. In the near future, we're going to have to deal with that. And we will. I keep hearing we will, guys. I do. I keep hearing we will. You know, well, for one thing, the Earth would not be destroyed because our Earth is strong and it is amazing. It can renew itself. But living conditions for our species will not be destroyed either. Although I do always see troubles, we're having troubles already, but more troubles that really bring this use of fossil fuels just to a grinding halt. I really see it. So I do think that's the embattled, but yet decision is made. Once the decision is made that, okay, we can't afford to take our sweet old time trying to get rid of chemicals that harm the earth, trying to get away from fossil fuels. Once we decide we can't take our sweet old time anymore, things can change quickly. The earth will work with us to heal. So that will be good. So even with that, we are still going to be heading to a time when the baseline is that everyone has enough. And maybe I say 100 years because maybe it would, be after 100 years. Maybe it would be at 100 years. But I mean, we're coming into a time where that will be the case. Maybe before that. Don't know. But it's a done deal, apparently. Root of the matter. Page of Cups. That's our emotions. So sometimes we do not understand our emotions very well. We have focused more on our thoughts. And that's another way in which our species needs to grow. Because our emotions carry a lot of weight, they carry a lot of truth, they carry a lot of motivation. They are the reason we do a lot of things we do, but we pretend it's not. So that is a root of the matter. We have to gain better understanding of our emotions. And with that, intuition. Home environment, we're still learning from each other how to build. We're still learning from each other how to build. Technology is still very unequally distributed across the globe. We're still learning how to build security. Okay. This is on the bottom of the deck. This new era coming in. That's coming in. Hopes and fears. 6 of Cups. Nostalgia, but then that's about children. We're hopeful for the children, but we're also worried about the children, aren't we? Our species has begun, birth rates are dropping off. It looks like we're due to level out on our population growth sometime in 2060. But that could come sooner, the way things are going. And then decreasing population growth, which I feel like is all right, but not necessary for living in harmony on the earth. You know what I mean? We could live a lot more lightly on the earth, even with our population. I almost feel like there's a concern about this. Hope for a good future for the children. Worry about the children's future will motivate us. Outcome, 10 of coins. Stability, abundance. We will see a time of abundance. I think we will have to address the global warming issues, the damage we're doing to the environment first. There may be trouble with that, but once we do get on the right track with that, I do think we will come into a new era of abundance and stability. The clarifier is the moon. And some of these things are hard won, right? Some of the best motivators are, when we go through something really terrible and really awful, and we don't want to see that again, and we don't want to see that for the children of the earth, So there is that, but we will come into an area of abundance. The moon, intuition, being guided more. Oh boy, we are. Boy, one thing with the algorithms that can gather so much data on human nature, on how humans operate, on how humans think. One thing with that, we will be getting factual information about the power of our intuition, the power of group consciousness, the power of knowing, the power of interconnectedness, the power of emotion. So we will be getting a lot more information about that, and it will become a lot more legitimate to talk about these things as ways of knowing, ways of solving problems, ways of communicating and understanding. That will become a lot more legitimate. That will be coming, and I feel like that's steady. That's steady. That's begun already, and it will be steady. Our consciousness is bigger than our bodies. We're used to thinking our consciousness is limited to our bodies. Not true. Not true at all. There's all kinds of evidence that's not true. But this evidence is going to grow and grow. Oh, wow. So that is really neat. And then the 5 of coins is the other clarifier. Yes, I feel like it's not until we eliminate. We have enough technology to eliminate world hunger. We have enough abundance to eliminate it. We have enough to eliminate terrible injustice. We have enough. And until that's our next step, we have to deal with that first, is what I'm hearing. We have to deal with that first. We have to deal with Mother Nature, taking care of Mother Nature first. And we're gradually going to be moving to a time of great awakening for us, where we can discover the limits of our consciousness more. So, and what I'm hearing is we have been along this path the whole time. There's just phases and eras in our development as a species. But we will come back to oneness. Yet, it seems like the nature of this lifetime, the nature of this species, of this earth is creation and expansion. So this is all good. Growth, this is all good. I mean, I am not hearing messages of doom and gloom. I am not seeing this earth destroyed. I am not seeing that, okay? I feel like Source is instead saying, you're all on the path. You're on the path. And this isn't the worst time ever in history. A casual perusal of human history will tell us that. So I just wanted to share that perspective because I keep hearing it over and over and over again. It's almost like, relax, relax. You're all walking on the path. You're all walking the path toward greater enlightenment, greater understanding and valuing of each other, greater understanding and valuing of life in general, greater understanding and value for the earth. So that's the path we're on. There may be some difficult growth experiences to keep going, but those are just Instead of plotting growth, then we get a slingshot leap ahead. And they're in there as part of the design too. So that's what I'm hearing. I just thought I'd share. Please put your thoughts on this in the comments below. I love reading comments like that. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.